Brian looks cute as what a good boy because Conor's gonna dog walk him, huh? All right, so bet on it. You guys, everybody that think Conor's gonna beat me, oh, he's streaming, he's doing this, he's doing that, like you said with Barrios, if you think he's gonna beat me, please bet the money. Guess what? I'm gonna collect every amount of it. That part and more.
Conor Benn's newest clips from the gym made their way online, and the reaction from Garcia's corner was anything but flattering. Garcia brushed off any suggestion that Benn brings a real threat, laughing off the matchup altogether and treating the whole showdown like it's barely worth the hype.
At the end of the day, bro, I really gotta step in that ring every time and put my life on the line while you guys watch. You're gonna tell me, oh, I was demotivated? Okay, demotivate your balls, dog. Like, for real, though. What the fuck? Were they gonna disrespect somebody that's a multi-millionaire, that's a world-class fighter, that's a humble, non-ego man? Like, come on, bro.
That confidence doesn't stop at conditioning jokes. Garcia's setting an even higher bar for himself. He didn't hold back, questioning Benn's gas tank and predicting that things will unravel for him once the fight stretches past round 5.
For you, you're gonna hope it ends in 5 and below, like I'm predicting. You're gonna hope, because if it goes any longer and you get tired like you did Rodriguez and you start getting sloppy, I'm not no Regis, brother. I'm gonna spank you, and it's gonna be like I took off a belt, I put water on it, and I slap you in the face with it. Like, it's gonna, ow, ow. It's gonna be bad.
Why the water then?
Because it makes it pow harder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna spit on it, but then I was like, oh,
yeah, it's a little weird. Yeah, maybe the water's better.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. See, I was gonna say spit on that. That would have been gross.
Garcia isn't leaving room for a decision on the scorecards. He says he'd be genuinely disappointed in himself if this fight goes the distance. His mindset is locked on ending things inside 5 rounds. Full stop. In his eyes, there's simply no scenario where Benn's got the tools to survive his hand speed for that long.
So I'll be real. Like, if I don't get him out of there 5 and below, I'm gonna still finish the job and play around with him and beat the shit out of him. But it's not gonna feel as good as me really knocking him out. I'm being serious, man. Like, I'm gonna be vigorously disappointed in myself if I don't get him out. Unless I break my pinky or some dumb shit. Then I'm like, all right, well, that's why, you know?
And then what happened?
Even then, why didn't I knock him out with one hand? You know, he's not that good.
You really don't think you're underestimating him, maybe?
No, not at all, bro. Watch him fight.
But Conor Benn made it clear he's not indulging in the noise this time around. He fired back that he's not the same fighter who got caught up in the Eubank fight. This camp, he says, is all business. And as far as Garcia's concerned, Benn brushed the threat aside entirely, calling the whole fight a walk in the park.
And, you know, I just got to prepare so hard and really put myself through it, you know, sort of go through hell and back to just prove I belong at the top. I don't really indulge in the noise. I don't really like... I think the reason why is Eubank was probably... It was so personal and dark.
Benn didn't stop there. He took aim at Garcia's identity as a fighter, arguing he doesn't carry the so-called Mexican warrior heart people often praise. For Benn, it comes down to effort. He insists he pours everything he has into every outing, driven by a responsibility to give fans an incredible fight.
Yeah, of course it does.
Why do you think that?
Because he ain't for the culture. He ain't for the. He ain't got the heart of a Mexican. He ain't got the balls of a Mexican. He ain't got the nitty gritty in him. You know, that's what my views of a Mexican fighter is. Also the culture, the language. You know, it's I'm all for it. I love giving people value for money. I give 110% in everything I do. I want to be the best fighter I can be. I want to give people memories. I want people to enjoy my career. I'm just a fighter who loves to fight and provide for my family.
When it comes to game plan, Benn's approach is straightforward. Get in there and make an early statement. He's planning to open the fight fast and heavy, throwing everything he's got in hopes of putting Garcia away before things even get going. He made his hope clear. If the finish comes in the opening 2 rounds, he won't be complaining.
Give me your exact prediction. How would you beat Ryan Garcia? And, you know, if it is a stoppage, what round would you predict it at?
I'm coming out fast, I'm coming out heavy, and I'm gonna use everything in my arsenal to to try and put the kid to sleep. I'm going to do everything I can to put him to sleep. I can't say what round, you know, God willing, it comes earlier than the first 2 rounds.
From trash talk to tactics, Shawn Porter offered a more analytical take on how the styles actually match up. In his eyes, the setup tilts toward Garcia. His quickness lines up almost perfectly against how Benn operates, which could spell trouble. Porter went far, giving Garcia the edge in a slight favorite matchup with a real chance the night ends inside the distance.
I think that fight, based off of how Ryan Garcia just looked in his last fight, I mean, it looks like he beats Conor Benn. Conor Benn has a style that matches what Ryan is good. You know, the style clash favors Ryan Garcia because of his speed, because of his power from the outside. So definitely a tough fight for Conor Benn. Again, based off of Ryan's last fight, I would say 60-40. Ryan Garcia wins that fight, possibly KO, but Conor is very, very tough, and that's what I already knew about him, but I got to see it firsthand when we sparred.
Shawn Porter offers an interesting take, admitting that Conor's aggressive style could create problems for Ryan. Having shared the ring with Conor during sparring, Porter has experienced his strengths and pressure up close. Yet, despite that first-hand knowledge, he still leans toward Ryan to win. Porter believes Ryan's exceptional speed, sharp timing, and ability to strike from different angles give him the tools to counter Conor's aggression and control the fight.
He beats Conor Benn. Conor Benn has a style that matches what Ryan is good. You know, the style clash favors Ryan Garcia because of his speed, because of his power from the outside. So definitely a tough fight for Conor Benn. Again, based off of Ryan's last fight, I would say 60-40. Ryan Garcia wins that fight, possibly KO, but Conor is very, very tough, and that's what I already knew about him, but I got to see it firsthand when we sparred. He's much more versatile than we saw in the first fight with Eubank. Comes back in a rematch against Eubank. We see the versatility, we see the speed, the foot movement, and things of that nature. Those were the things that I saw in when I sparred with him, just 4 easy rounds or whatever.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez frames this one as a genuine coin flip, pointing to how rough Benn's night against Prograis looked compared to the commanding way Garcia handled Barrios his last time out. That contrast alone, he suggests, is enough to keep the outcome wide open heading into fight week, with neither man's recent form giving a clear edge over the other once the bell rings.
And why? Honestly, that's up. That's up in the air, man. I would like to see Conor Benn actually put on a good showing and good fight for Ryan, and actually give him some challenges there. You know, obviously Conor Benn didn't look as exciting and as great against an experienced fighter like Regis Prograis. You know, definitely gave him something to fight and earn for in that fight. But and then you see Ryan, he swept the floor on Barrios. So if we see the same Ryan that we saw in Barrios, I think he's unbeatable right now.
Lopez goes further, arguing that if Garcia brings the same sharpness and discipline that defined his win over Barrios, he becomes nearly impossible to beat in this matchup. It's less about raw tools, he says, and more about whether that focus travels with him into fight night, because on his best day, Lopez believes, Garcia simply outclasses what Benn can offer.
The same Ryan that we saw in Barrios, I think he's unbeatable right now. So, you know, it should be a great fight though. Overall, people should definitely tune in, and you know, the only thing that's the downside of that is it's not on the zone everywhere.
Well,
it's on the downside.
You know, Ryan, Terrence Crawford noted he's questioning Ryan's focus heading into this fight, and to be fair to Terrence, like, his body looked better at this stage of camp heading into the Barrios fight. Just looking at him physically, his body right now, about 6 weeks out from the fight, looks more like it did heading into the upset loss to Rolly.
Even acknowledging the technical gap, Lopez won't count Benn out, pointing to his hunger and relentless work ethic as reasons he could still find a way to shock the boxing world. For Lopez, heart and grit remain wild cards that stats can't fully measure, and against a fighter as gutsy as Benn, that intangible edge could end up mattering more than anyone expects.
Get an example of what it is. You always hear the saying where they say it's easier to get the belt, but then it's harder to keep it, right? So you always hear that type of saying, and maybe Ryan right now might find out that, right? Ideally, in the business aspect, everyone wants to see Ryan win. But Conor Benn is hungry. He's in there. He's in the gym every day. He's speaking Spanish to the man, and he's not even Spanish. So, you know, he's not Hispanic. So I think those things show the determination and what it means to Conor Benn. You know, when he
Garcia himself then takes stock of Benn's recent form and waves it off as a step below the competition he's used to facing, arguing the gap in experience and pure talent is exactly what he plans to exploit once the bell rings. For Garcia, it's less about game planning around Benn and more about simply imposing his level from the opening bell onward, round after round.
I mean, people are just playing into that a little too much. I mean, if you watch the fights, look at he won them, but there's nothing that I see in any of those fights that makes me believe that he's at this level. And I think that there's going to be a clear distinction on, you know, on the difference in experience, talent, and just levels of boxing in the ring. You know, he's going to be getting hit with punches he usually doesn't get hit with.
Tony Bellew takes the opposite stance, arguing that Ryan's power was enough to make Tank respect what he could bring. Because of that, Bellew rejects the idea that Conor can simply walk him into a clean shot. He admits the circumstances surrounding Ryan's performance against Haney remain unclear, but he still sees little reason to doubt him here. In Bellew's eyes, Ryan's speed, power, and overall ability should be enough to secure a convincing victory.
When he fought Devin Haney, but I guarantee he won't be failing nothing at this because there's so much money at stake in this. He just can't afford to do it. And although, you know, it's massive numbers, his biggest numbers and his biggest pay to date is facing Tank, and he didn't fail a thing for Tank. So, and let's not forget, he rocked Tank as well. Tank felt the shot. Because I think Tank's the most exciting fighter in the world. I think Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis. I just, when he fights, I want to see him. I don't think he's a nice human being, but I think he's the most exciting fighter in the whole world. And he was able to go in and scare Tank. He was able to go in and make Tank.
Bellew also gives Conor credit for his heavy hands, strong mindset, and relentless determination, qualities he believes have fueled his rise. However, he warns that Ryan cannot afford to overlook him. Taking Conor lightly could prove costly, especially against someone who thrives on pressure and keeps pushing forward. Bellew sees that complacency as a potential turning point, because one moment of underestimation could allow Conor to seize control and completely change the fight.
If he's not on it 100%, because he's already underestimating Conor. You see, I've seen a little bit in the press comments, you're not at this level. And I know people say things and say it and stuff, but when you say things like that and of that kind of ilk, you're kind of saying, I know you're not very good. And I understand why he thinks that, because you look at Conor and you think you're wild, you're raw, you're so open. But then I seen a different side to him in the Eubank rematch. It's a side that can stick to a game plan, a side that can box. And I'm not saying he's turning into Sugar Ray Leonard, because he's never going to be that. But just to be able to stick Chris Eubank Jr. on a jab for 12 rounds and stick to the game plan, that takes a certain kind of mentality to do that.
Okay, you mentioned about Conor before, and it's interesting.
However, Carl Froch gives Conor Benn little chance against Ryan Garcia, believing the gap between them is too wide. He questions Benn's resume, arguing that he has yet to prove himself against elite opposition or earn a victory that justifies such a high-profile challenge. Froch ultimately believes Garcia's superior skill and experience allow him to outclass Benn and control the fight.
Conor Benn against Ryan Garcia, I think Conor Benn gets absolutely splattered. I've got to be honest, I don't think he's got a chance. He's not there yet. And I've said it before, and he gets the ump with me for saying it. But who's he beat? What's he done? Who's his biggest win?
Chris Eubank.
You can't say it's a big win. This guy finished Eubank years ago. And Eubank lost a couple of fights. He got battered by Liam Smith. And that's a level. It's like, what's Eubank done to warrant Conor Benn saying, I'm ready for world titles like this against this guy? I know he's just now become a new world champion, and it'd be a good fight, but for me, I just think Ryan Garcia.
Zooming back into camp, the work Benn's putting in paints a clearer picture than any prediction. Just the discipline he says was missing before Eubank. He's locked into every session, pouring in that 110% he keeps talking about, determined to prove this camp is different and that the results will speak louder than any panel's odds.
That's good slipping. That's good slipping.
sparring was a while.
Conditioning sits at the center of it all, with every session built to push him toward his maximum heart rate. His aim is simple: get comfortable operating in the red zone, building the kind of resilience that lets him hold a relentless pace deep into a fight. The objective is to build exceptional cardiovascular endurance, allowing him to sustain pressure and preserve his effectiveness.
Sessions all drive a slight physiology, but yeah,
800s, 400s, 200s.
Yeah, horrible. We used to do 200s and 400s, they're horrible.
Yeah.
And what are you doing 200s in? What's he running 200s in?
Did 300s the other day, which is...
We did 8 300s.
2 seconds. So
45 seconds rest. 30 seconds.
We did one on Tuesday, Gary, so 4 minutes work at 90 to 95% of max heart rate, so it's getting comfortable where you feel under, dominating that red zone and staying at 4 minutes.
In what, in the ring or
that was on
running?
The treadmill. Yeah,
on the treadmill. What's the treadmill at?
The treadmill was at, you
17.
pushed it on the last one.
Oh yeah, but 17 to 20 over the...
Tim Bradley, a former world champion, focuses on whether Benn can handle Garcia's signature left hook. If Benn cannot neutralize it while pressing forward, his aggression could quickly become a liability.
He has a right hand, good right hand, a strong right hand. I think the pressure that he puts on
he has an engine.
Well, yeah, he keeps going, and you see the will that he has.
Connor's mental is strong. Yeah.
He's mentally strong. However, look, if he gets past that left hook, he got to get past that left hook, man. And one more thing. In his last fight, in Garcia's last fight, that right hand that he was throwing, okay, very effective.
Nice,
in that fight. Yeah, you can see him starting to add new things to his repertoire, but more than just a left hook. That's going to be a punch. I believe that's going to be a definitive punch in this fight.
Picking up right where that leaves off, Chris Mannix points to the return of that same devastating hook while revealing another weapon that could make the champion even harder to survive against.
The fight against Barrios was probably the best I've ever seen Ryan Garcia. Not just because that left hook and that speed was still there, the right hand. We haven't seen the right hand from Ryan Garcia, and we saw Mario Barrios in the first round look like he didn't prepare 1 minute for that right hand. Didn't look like he was ready for it at all. If that right hand is the same kind of explosive weapon that the left hook is, Ryan's got a lot of tools in the box there.
Where Benn brings the noise, Tim Bradley points out Garcia is doing the opposite, staying composed and quietly self-assured. He's trusting his speed, pop, and years in the unpaid ranks to carry him through, rather than matching fire with fire. That calm, he suggests, could prove just as dangerous as anything Benn brings to the table.
When I looked at the press conference, I'm looking at both fighters' demeanors. I like when fighters are sure. And I feel like Ryan is sure. I feel like both of them are, to be honest with you, but Ryan's a little bit more reserved, with it. It's it's a calm confidence that I like from him. He's just you gonna find out. It's different. It's different levels. My hand speed gonna be too much for you. My power gonna be too much for you. I got more experience than you.
Turning to strategy, Bradley flags that Benn's relentless will to win cuts both ways. It can carry him, but it can also open the door to costly mistakes. Garcia, meanwhile, has reportedly sharpened his right hand to work alongside his trademark hook, giving him the tools to set traps for anyone walking forward the way Benn does. That combination could prove decisive.
But I feel a young guy like Garcia, he's gonna be able to pull that trigger. And one of the best things about his game is that he's a decent counterpuncher. I'm not gonna lie. He's a decent counterpuncher. He knows how to land that left hook. And the fact that his father started to develop his right hand, that's gonna help him even more in fights, because he don't have to be just dependent upon one punch. He can use both hands now. And what I did like about Ryan's performance was he did go to the body as well. He went to the body with right hands to the body as well. And he used his feet.
As for how it plays out, the expectation is fireworks rather than a scorecard decision, a fight most see ending inside the distance. Garcia is tabbed as the man deserving of favorite status heading in, with Bradley convinced his tools give him the edge when things get chaotic late. For this matchup, this isn't just a prediction, it's a warning.
I know the way y'all think, but in the way of I'm gonna hurt you. And when we do get on that day, that week of the fight, yeah, you gonna know. You gonna feel my pain. You gonna feel my wrath. All the sacrifice that I've been through, all the training I've been through, somebody's gonna pay for that. I don't see this fight going the distance. I don't see this fight going the distance. Somebody's getting knocked out, period. Somebody is about to get knocked out. You know, and I believe that the favorite should be the favorite. Should be the favorite. And that's Ryan Garcia.
With both camps sounding off and the analysts split on where this one lands, all that's left now is fight night to settle it. Who do you think walks away with it? Garcia's speed and sharpened arsenal, or Benn's newfound discipline and power? Drop your predictions in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a second of the build-up as we get closer to fight night.